Hey biohackers, and welcome to my channel Biohacking Your Vitality with me, Jay. So in this video I'm going to be talking all about acrylamide. What is acrylamide? What are some of the common food sources? And you're not going to believe this because it's some of the most common food sources that are consumed on a traditional vegan diet. What are some of the risks of consuming too much acrylamide, as well as what you can do to reduce your consumption of acrylamide? So let's get into it. What is acrylamide? So acrylamide is an organic compound. It's odorless and it's usually used in the manufacturing process for plastics. But it's also found naturally in a number of foods, such as coffee. Yes, the coffee everybody loves and the coffee that keeps everyone awake every day. Coffee is known to have elevated levels of acrylamide. It's also been found in a number of starchy foods, such as potatoes and other starchy carbohydrates that have been heated above a certain temperature. So anything heated above 120 degrees Celsius might have elevated levels of acrylamide. Now, what is the scientific background behind it? And I'm going to try and dumb it down from some of the research that I've read on this, and I'll drop the links to this in the comment section below so that if you're interested, you can go and visit these links and increase your knowledge and awareness about acrylamides. So from what I've read, acrylamide generally forms when the amino acid asparagine in foods reacts with glucose or the sugar molecules to go on to form acrylamide. In the digestion process, it then transforms into glycamide, and that can have the potential to damage your DNA cells. So that brings us into what are the risks of consuming acrylamide. So, as a result of its potential to damage your DNA cells, it can potentially cause cancer. It can also damage your nervous system when it's consumed in excess. So I will state that from what I've read, it seems like when it's consumed in moderation, it's generally okay. So far, most of the studies that have been performed have been animal trials, and a number of them have been conducted at really elevated levels of acrylamide. So a few studies have been performed from a human trial perspective, so the results are still inconclusive in terms of its full effect on humans. However, if you want to rather stay on the side of caution, then you'd be better off trying to have it in moderation, because it might be really hard to eliminate it completely. But I guess you'd have to look at your own body's natural defense system and its ability to contain or reduce your risk of acrylamide consumption. So let's get into some of the food sources. Now, I did say that it's in your most common food sources, and I mentioned earlier coffee. Coffee is known to have elevated levels of acrylamide. Now, one thing to note when it comes to coffee, apparently acrylamide tends to reach elevated levels during the early stages of the heating process and then gradually declines the longer it's heated. So your light roasted coffees will tend to have much more higher levels of acrylamide versus your darker roasted coffee. But both of them still contain fairly significant amounts of acrylamide. The other foods are your rich starchy carbohydrates. So think potatoes that are heated above a certain temperature, so heated above 120 degrees. Those would also contain quite a lot of acrylamide. Now, potatoes, when it's refrigerated, generally tends to release more of the glucose, which tends to react more with the asparagine or the amino acids during the cooking process, so it elevates the acrylamide content. So it's better if you don't refrigerate potatoes before you cook them. Other foods is breakfast cereals, so think of your baked goods as well as some of the breads and other rich starchy foods that have been cooked at really high temperatures. Those would also have significant levels of acrylamide. Now, another health food that's not heated but also has significant levels of acrylamide is black olives. Yes, the black olives we all thought was really healthy also has a significant level of acrylamide, so something else to be mindful of if you are sticking on a traditional vegan diet. Now, some other bad habits that also tend to increase the acrylamide levels are smoking, and consuming too much processed foods in general is just going to increase your overall consumption of acrylamides. Now, I know some of these foods are really our favorite foods, and if you're following a vegan diet, it might form part of what you mostly consume. So what can you do to reduce your consumption of acrylamides? So here's a couple of things that you could do. So number one, try and reduce cooking foods at very high temperatures. opt for rather cooking your foods through cooking methods such as boiling or steaming your foods, or dehydrate your foods in a dehydrator below 100 degrees Celsius. As I mentioned before, you could also make sure that you store your potatoes outside of the refrigerator before cooking them. Now apparently, another trick that works is fermenting your breads before you bake them a little while longer, so that the fermentation process reduces the amount of glucose that can potentially react with the amino acid asparagine during the baking process. So these are some of the things that you could do. Now, in moderation, generally it should be okay, but however, if it's being consumed in excess, it can have potentially devastating health effects. So hopefully this video helps to bring you more awareness so that you can use this to make more healthy food choices, and think next time when you're consuming foods about its acrylamide content and how you can go about reducing it from your diet. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments section below if you disagree with any of these facts, or if you have better sources of information or more recent studies on it that can potentially show that it's not that great a risk to human consumption. So appreciate your views and appreciate you watching this video. Look forward to seeing you guys next time.